campaign, Walk for Access, has called for a total review of the Student Bursary scheme, NSFAS, in a bid to address all maladministration and corruption in the system.
The Walk for Access group walked for more than 1,400 kilometres from Parliament in Cape Town to the Union buildings in Pretoria. They aim to raise awareness on issues like funding, inadequate student accommodation and hunger that's affecting the students.
Initially, the walk started at the Parliament precinct on the 21st of March 2019, which was Human Rights Day. So the walk started at 5 a.m., walking from Cape Town to Paarl. So we're walking from city to city. So the purpose of actually walking was for us to get to each and every community in the country to raise awareness about student issues and to raise awareness about all of the sufferings that students go through, and also how the community and the whole country can actually get involved in sorting out these issues and standing in the gap. And also it was to actually get to citizens to actually donate at least 2 rands for each day that we are walking for the 20 days, and then to also raise at least 4 million to help out with students, which the immediate issues are student hunger and also student accommodation.
Now, during your walk, how was the support that you received from the various communities, stakeholders, the media and so forth? How was the experience, if you had to share that with us?
Okay, so the experience was great because first things first, we received a lot of support from the churches. 80% of the places we slept in were churches, right? So they opened their accommodation for us, they catered for us. We didn't have a budget for the trip, we just relied on the generosity of the people. And we were also accommodated in people's personal homes who opened their homes for us. But the support has been great from the community and the churches, right? So we also appealed to cooperate, to ask for donations and all of that, but we were told that we are not in their scope, or rather they are already participating in such programs, so they can't help us. But with media, we also had to force ourselves through because we saw that we didn't have much coverage, so we had to walk into studios, walk into stations, make calls and let people know about who we are and raise the awareness, because the reason for media is for there to be awareness about the whole situation that students are in.
Why start on Human Rights Day? Just perhaps to elaborate, I'd like to believe that it attaches to the right of students to have access to those various resources and facilities that they really need to complete their studies.
It's in our constitution that clearly states that we all have a right to an education. However, we see that that right is limited because of the affordability of education. So we are trying to address the issue of the affordability part, to say yes, you have a right, but you must not, your rights must not be limited according to how much you can afford to pay for the right. So we started on the Human Rights Day to raise awareness and to show that actually this is one of the biggest human rights that need to be addressed, a primary human right that needs to be addressed. So we wanted to show also the reason why we even started in Parliament, to say it is the responsibility of the government to make sure that these things happen. Even though we are standing in the gap, we cannot address the issues as a small organization or civil society. But we believe that government has the resources and they have the capability to address this issue, and we need them to come to the forefront. Hence, we came and met with the DG of the Department of Higher Education and Training.
Now, your goal, the target that you had set for yourself is, as you said, over 4 million rand that you try to collect during your journey. Do you feel confident that you may have reached that target?
Not really. I don't think we have reached it. Because we do have a few accounts in how we collect money. We have a backup buddy account, which is crowdfunding. We have an account that was opened by the church specifically for this walk, that is audited by the university, and we were also collecting cash along the way. However, along the way when we were looking at the money, it was not enough. So we still appeal to people that this is not stopping by the walk. the walk is just the start of the initiative. We are still going to have a lot to fundraise and a lot of things to do so that we can raise this money. We know for a fact that we didn't get the 4 million, but we are not deterred, we are not discouraged. We know that we can still do it and we can still address those issues.
Just in closing, quickly highlight to us what your main points are in the memorandum that you did stipulate, that you did read out to, of course, the DG, and also trying to, I think, make sure that that message does reach, the attention of the minister, perhaps even the president. So just highlight again what your message is.
Basically, one of our biggest points is the total review of NSFAS, because we have an issue of maladministration within NSFAS, we have issues of corruption and all of that within NSFAS, and students then suffer in the process when it comes to NSFAS. The second and one of the most important issue is the regulation of student accommodation. We are saying that we need government to cap student accommodation to a maximum, or set a price ceiling of 2,000 rands, considering that minimum wage in this country is 3,000 rands. If a student has to study, the mother has to pay, or someone at home who's earning 3.5 has to pay 2,000 rands for a student accommodation. So we're saying at least leave the family with 1,500 to survive, right? Those are probably one of the two of the biggest issues that we want to address, but also we also stated that one of the most important things that we are looking towards free education, right? Right now we're just giving immediate solutions or intermediate solutions to say we want to address these issues now. However, in the long run, we're still looking forward to free education.
How does this initiative what difference is there to this initiative compared to the other initiatives that already exist, and what government is doing to try and address this issue?
Okay, so this initiative is it directly addresses issues, right? And we have three main issues that we address: historical debt, student hunger, and student accommodation, right? And by this initiative, we made sure that we removed all the bureaucratic processes that students have to go through in universities and all of that, in getting accommodation and getting food and all of that. So what we are saying is we want to make it easier for students to get accommodation. Hence, we proposed in our memorandum that we want government to open up the unoccupied flats and buildings within the vicinity of universities for students to occupy, right? But also, what is quite important for us is the fact that we need to stand in the gap for students who cannot afford, right? So like I said, we do have a criteria that we're going to disperse the money, to use to disperse the money, but also the university has offered its services to audit the account, so we are going to make it much simpler and much quicker for students to actually access funding for food and also accommodation.
All right, thank you so much. We'll leave it at that. Of course, there you had it. It is Marcus Mashinini. He is a part of the organizers of the historic Walk for Access. Now, they've walked over 1,400 kilometers from Cape Town to, of course, the Union buildings, and they're saying that they hope that this initiative can be elevated to become an annual campaign to address the issues that students are battling with. And of course, the main one is the issue around access to funding, and the issue around, of course, student accommodation. You can see that they have received help from various other partners. You have Gift of the Givers that have been very supportive of the initiative, and government also saying that they welcome the initiative and that they will see how they can better and open up communication channels with these students to see how those issues that they are raising can be addressed speedily, and which gaps that still need to be closed can receive the necessary attention that of course they deserve. Here at the Union buildings, it seems like the event has come to a close, so for now it is back to you in studio.